Alright guys, welcome back to What's Matt Cooking Today. Today I'm doing some Snake River Farms New York strip steak. I'm going to cook them in the sous vide. So I will show you what I do to get them ready. Basically, I'm just using salt. I'm going to use Maldon sea salt, coat them pretty good with that. Then I'm going to vacuum seal them, drop them into the water at 132 degrees, and I'm going to leave them in there for about 2 hours. The strips are about a little over an inch thick, so they're not huge, but they should be delicious. So I will show you that here now. All right, so here's the steaks. They're, like I said, they're from Snake River Farms. They're American Wagu. They look really good. I've been wanting to try some stuff from these guys for a long time. I found some some small little packaged steaks at Safeway and QFC, but I found these two bigger strips at Safeway yesterday. Depending on how these turn out, I'll probably be putting in a order with Snake River Farms. I really want to try one of their Wagu briskets. So like I said, all we're going to be doing for these is just Maldon sea salt. If you don't got this stuff, I highly recommend putting it in your pantry. And for the sous vide, the salt is really all that penetrates when you're cooking sous vide. So using other stuff is fine, but salt is the one that's really going to draw out the flavors. So you want to get a pretty good coat on these. You can add pepper and garlic powder if you want, but I don't find that it brings out the flavor as much unless you're putting it in so you make a gravy out of the juice. Then you can add those stuff and it makes the juices really great. I'm not worried about making a gravy for these steaks because I think they're going to be just fine without it. So we'll flip them over and do the other side. It might look like I'm using a lot of salt, but you really want to use a lot of salt when you're using this sous vide. I found the more, you don't want to go overboard, but when you think you've got enough and you're used to salting, add a little bit more. So that looks pretty good right there. Go ahead and we'll vacuum seal these up. I've got my sous vide heating up right here. So this is going to be at 132, like I said, and we're going to drop it in for 2 hours. And then when we pull them out, I'm going to sear them really hot and fast in my cast iron on the stove. We're going to do a little butter sear with that, so it should be good. Alright, so let's put them in the bags here. One thing I like to do, fold over the edges like this. That way you're not getting this side dirty or wet with meat juice or anything. It's going to make the seal a lot easier. So we're just going to go ahead and stuff this guy in here. You can use one bag for both, but I like to put it in 2 bags. These ones are a little big, but also you don't need a food saver. You can use regular Ziploc bags, but with the food saver you have the advantage of knowing that you're getting most of the air out. And I'm actually going to cut this down a little bit. It's a little big. Because if you have air in there, you're going to allow for the bag to have air in it. It's going to float to the top. So you don't want that. You want your food to be in the bag, in the water, without floating to the top. So let's go ahead and do this. If you're looking for a nice vacuum sealer, Costco has a great one, Food Saver. That's what this one is. Works wonderfully. Alright, so this one's done. And there you have it. That's going to go right in the water like that. Go ahead and get this other one in here. And I'm going to let them sit in the fridge for about an hour before I put it in. I'm not quite ready to turn it on, or to to start cooking them. The water will be ready by then, so we'll let it sit in the fridge for a bit. Steak's been in for about 2 hours now. We're going to go ahead and pull them out. I'm going to put them immediately into an ice bath for 5 minutes. It's going to help when I sear it. So once I take these out, after 5 minutes, it'll be nice and a little bit cooler. And when I sear it, it won't overheat. Been 5 minutes. We've had these cooling, so we're going to go ahead and get them out of the bags now. We're going to pat them dry. I'm going to get them really dry before we sear it, or as best as you can. They don't look that appetizing coming out of the bag, but trust me, these are going to be really good. Got the cast iron heating up over there. When we put that on, we want it so hot that your fire alarm's going to go off because of smoke. If it's not, you're not hot enough. Really pat these dry. Go ahead and give them a little bit more seasoning. Just salt and pepper. Got the other side. A little bit more. Alright, so we're ready to put these on. We're ready to put these on the cast iron. It's not quite hot enough yet. We gotta give it another minute. Alright, you guys can see it's smoking hot right now. Like literally smoking hot. So what we're gonna do, just drop some of this butter in. We're going to sear these for about 35-45 seconds aside. Take a little peek, see how it looks under this one. Just gonna let it go for a couple more seconds. Alright, we're gonna flip them now. That looks beautiful. Keep basting them with butter. Give a little check here. Okay, a couple more seconds. Maybe 15. go ahead and pull these now. Those look really good. We'll let it rest for a couple minutes and then we'll cut it up and we'll be back for the cutting part. Alright guys, let's go ahead and cut into this one and see how it looks. That looks perfect. Can't wait to try it.